I'm Jasmine from SEGA. It's great you're watching, and today I'm joined by Miles Jacobson from Sports Interactive. Hi, Miles.
Hi, Jasmine. Hi, everyone.
Hi. He doesn't really need an introduction, of course, but Miles has over 25 years of experience in the video games industry, and he basically oversees everything at Sports Interactive, from the development process to all the studio operations as the studio director. Miles joined Sports Interactive in 1994 as a QA tester on Championship Manager 2, but quickly moved up, and under his management, the studio went on to create the best-selling Football Manager series. So Miles, you're celebrating your 26th year at Sports Interactive, and how have you seen the studio develop over all those years?
And it's changed massively. When I first got involved at the studio, it was only really Ov and Paul Collier and some school friends who were there working on Championship Manager 2, and were quickly joined by Mark Vaughan, who's still with the studio. Now he's the director of Football Manager Mobile and Football Manager Touch. We're now at over 200 people with 20 jobs open at the studio at the moment. So come and work for Sports Interactive. Great place to work.
Has working with SEGA over those years influenced the way you guys work at SI at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Asia was a place where other games came out. It wasn't a place where Football Manager came out. China's now one of our biggest territories. We've got a cult fan base in Japan. We've got a big fan base around the rest of Asia that we just, we wouldn't have had if it wasn't for working with SEGA. But there've also been collaborations over the years as well. So when we took our match engine from 2D to 3D, we were able to turn around to the team working on Virtual Striker and say, hey, have you got any animations that we can use? And they came around to us and said, have you got any data that we can use? So we just did a bit of a swap. But all of the studios in the West are incredibly close. So I meet with the studio directors from Amplitude, Creative Assembly, 2 Point, Relic. We meet every week. So, we're all talking together constantly.
Are all virtually now, right?
all virtually now, yeah, which is unfortunate.
How is that?
Well, it's the world that we live in, isn't it? And there are some bad points to it. Creativity is a lot harder when everyone's at home. Making little tweaks and changes to the game becomes a lot more complicated when you have to get everyone together rather than just going to their desk. But there are some good points as well. Like our office, we're the studio based in London, and therefore traffic. It's wonderful not sitting in traffic for a couple of hours every day.
No commute.
being able to get more done. And
you said that you grew up with SEGA games and the SEGA consoles. So what was your first memory of SEGA?
So I had a Master System. I had a Mega Drive. My first memory is probably Alex Kidd, and playing Alex Kidd. My favorite SEGA game, the one that really made me a massive SEGA fanboy, was a game that didn't actually get released in the West for a long time, which was a game called Landstalker.
All right.
Which I had to buy a Genesis console to play. And it took me back a bit to some of the old Ultimate Play the Game games from that were on the Spectrum, which is a studio that are now called Rare. And it was an isometric 3D Japanese RPG. Really, really long playtime, really hard.
Games were so much harder back in the day, like so much harder.
Well, this game was so hard that one of the gaming mags actually did a guide to playing the game that they split into 2 parts, and they couldn't do the second part for about
oh God.
Because they didn't know how to get past a particular part, and I told them how to, which is quite cool.
Did you? Oh my God!
So that was although I had the consoles, I'm always more interested in the games themselves. And obviously, look, the Sonic games are great. They always have been. Dr. Botnick's Mean Bean Machine is another game I absolutely adored and spend loads and loads of time playing. Landstalker was a moment of, we can really do this with games. That was a game that really made me think that that games were a medium that were going to be as important as film. And then Final Fantasy came along, and you're just like, well, okay, fine. Now we're better than film. But yeah, so I've always been a Sega fanboy, and but I don't believe in console wars. So I'm not a Sega fanboy that says, oh no, Nintendo rubbish. Nintendo are great as well, and Microsoft are great, and Sony are great, and we are so lucky to have so many talented people in this industry making great games. I don't care where they come from. You know, we've got it in the Sega family with Yakuza, we've got Atlas, we've got Phantasy Star Online, then you've got Jet Set Radio, then you've got Total War being made over in Horsham, and you've got 2 Point, who games right on my street, Amplitude, who I mentioned earlier, Hardlight with the work that they've done on the Sonic Mobile titles. So many incredible studios around the world that are all part of the same family, that all respect each other, but we also have respect for people who make games for other studios as well. So you know, whether before you were a Sega or Nintendo fanboy, and whether now you're a Sony or Microsoft fanboy, that's not a hill to die on. Just celebrate the games that we all make.
Being part of the Sega family, and we're celebrating Sega's 60th, of course. Where do you hope Sega to be in another 60 years?
Well, Sega, of course, they have a lot more sides to the business than just the games side of things. They are a leisure company as well, particularly in the East. So I'm looking forward to seeing what goes on with those resorts, because hopefully we might get a discount if we want to go on holiday to one of them at some point. So we need to be successful. From the game side of things that I'm on, I believe that what has been set up by Sega, and particularly from what I see in the West, I know that the East is going the same way as well, but from what I see in the West, we are set up so well that it's really up to the studios to decide what's there in the future. We have a parent company who are doing all right, who fund us when we need to be funded to make great games, who let us be creative. And if that structure continues, it's going to be pretty difficult for Sega to fail on the game side of things, because there are so many talented people in the organization, and such a high respect level from everyone, that, you know, yeah, sure, it's 60 years, but here's to another 60. Here's to the responsibility of all of the great people who head the studios and all the great creative people at the studios, to make sure that they're finding that next generation of great creative, so that old people like me can be stabbed in the back by someone in the studio who takes the job and does an even better job than me. That's part of my role, is to find the person that's going to do that, preferably with my blessing. Julius Caesar wasn't that great a story, really. It didn't end well. So hopefully with the blessing, and just Sega treat creatives better than any other publisher that I know. And that's why we're able to thrive. That's why Sega have such a high Metacritic score across their titles. You know, it's insane. Every year we are pushing and pushing and pushing to be able to entertain more people. And, you know, I'm lucky. I know what a few of the studios are working on, and I can't possibly leak anything today, but I think it's fair to say that the next 5 years are going to be the most exciting in Sega's history. I will say that, with the things that I know with the things that I know that are going on both in the East and the West, some of the titles that are coming in the next 5 years are mind-blowingly great concepts.
So lots and lots and lots to be excited about, right?
Yeah, I think there's lots of surprises coming from lots of people. We will just carry on making Football Manager, won't we? Although, hey, maybe we've got a surprise up our sleeve as well. Who knows what's
maybe nicely said, and a really nice ending to this wonderful interview. So thank you very much, Miles, for joining us, and it's been great to chat to you.
And can I just say one final thing, which is thank you so much to everyone in the Sega family out there. Whether you play Football Manager or not, you've been really welcoming to us as a studio, even though we're outside of Sega's normal wheelhouse a little bit. You've still been really welcoming to us, and to any of our community that are watching this, thank you to you as well, because without you guys, we don't get to make games. Without you buying games, we don't get to make games. So the longer you're with us, the longer we can carry on entertaining you.
Absolutely, really nicely said. And I don't have anything to add to that. The only thing I want to say is that remember, you can catch up with all the other Sega interviews for the Sega 60th on social and on the website. So head over there and check out all the amazing content. Thank you so much, and goodbye.